You have to bear with me in English, I'm afraid, but I'm absolutely delighted to meet you again. It's my first face-to-face conference since the pandemic. It's such a pleasure to be back actually doing something live, because we've been doing many of these events, like you have as well, behind a screen in our home offices. And such a pleasure to be back face-to-face again, talking about our favourite subject, which is the world of work. So the whole afternoon will play out in that vein. Leadership is the title for the whole afternoon, but we will be looking at many different things around the world of work along the way. And I'll just perhaps kick the thinking off to get us going right now. Now, there's a lot of our clients, participants in the Top Employers program involved in some of the panel discussions later, some of the other speeches that you'll see in this room. So you'll get to hear their best practices, hear what they're doing and how they're navigating what is going on right now. And as we all know, the last 2 years have been just incredible. We were hearing about it this morning on the main stage as well. So the ask of those of us as leaders in the business really has been unprecedented. And what's even more interesting, perhaps, is what's to come next. But before we go into that, let's have a quick look at the Top Employers Institute. If you don't know the organisation, it's worth just pointing out what it is that we do, who it is that we are. Now, Top Employers is a purpose-led business, and if you're all active in the world of work right now, being purpose-led is extremely helpful for many different things. Our purpose is to stand up for a better world of work, to help create a better world of work. And we measure the impact of our purpose through looking at the number of companies certified around the world, and we're active in 123 different countries now, auditing companies, looking at best practices around the world, and we like to count the number of employees working for those organizations, and we see how that grows. And where we are right now at the end of last year's program, 8.2 million employees, their lives are impacted by working for the most amazing companies who are putting forward enhanced conditions for those employees to thrive. And we even take that a stage further. We use it as a proxy for growth in the business. So 8.2 million is nice, but we start to ask ourselves, what if it was 50 million or 100 million? What does that look like? What does that mean for the certification products? How could we have a bigger impact in the world? And we see that companies struggled here. There was a lot of innovation, but remembering where we come at this is from a best practice point of view, much of that innovation didn't yet settle into best practice. And we still see companies wrestling with this now. We just have not solved this in any way. And you read the newspapers, and this week, often it's the big American digital companies leap out at you. And there was a story about Apple this week in the States, where one of their high-profile leaders, a guy called Ian's the head of machine learning in Apple, and Apple poached Ian from Google in 2019, and that was a big move, because this guy is, when it comes to AI, he is one of the premier people on the market. Ian was very outspoken on Monday this week. He said that because Apple was moving from 1 day a week in the office, the rest of the time at home, they were going from that to now 3 days in the office, so Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays for everybody across the whole of Apple. He said that is not an environment for my team to innovate, to be flexible. It's not motivating. I'm off. And he resigned with a very public statement about that. And you look all around the world, you see headlines like this as companies struggle to either bring people back or not. And there's no one-size-fits-all formula here, of course. It depends on your business, on what you're trying to achieve. But rather than talk about the headlines, what I thought I would do is just share what we're doing at Top Employers, because we did a big piece of work on this for our own business. And we've come out with 3 beliefs as part of what we call a human-centric way of working. And then there's 3 lenses for how those beliefs can be deployed within a business. And we find them incredibly empowering and have had a fantastic response to them. The first one is to acknowledge that those of us in work, we are all professionals. And if you just think about that as a moment, what does that mean to be a professional? Most of us have a good idea as to what that means, and also what it doesn't mean. And that's very helpful when thinking about how we want people to act within the business. The second belief, then, is that all professionals want to be successful. We come to work to be successful, to drive things forward. And again, a belief we have, and we know what that looks like, and we also know what that doesn't look like. And then the third belief is around success. So what is success? And so within top employers, what we say is success is when we're hitting ambitious goals whilst looking after our well-being and whilst looking after each other. And it's quite a liberating statement, that. So remember, this is called a human-centric policy. So when it comes to teams around the world, in our business at least, deciding how they want to re-enter the world of work, they use these lenses. They look at themselves first. So it's not that there's no policy saying Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, whatever it might be. What do you need to be successful as an individual is extremely important. Secondly, what does the team need? How does the team choose to collaborate? And we have offices around the world now where perhaps there's nobody in the office apart from on a Tuesday where there's a team meeting because that team has decided they are going to come together on that particular moment. But there's no involvement globally from the business. That's something that they've decided as a group of individuals working as a team on a shared set of outcomes. And like I said, the feedback's extremely strong here. So having guiding principles, treating people like adults, we find very useful, and we see this within other top employers around the world as they start to grapple with what is right with this particular sticky subject. So I'd share that with you, and then this afternoon there's many more opportunities to get involved in, whether it's best practices, whether it's trends, panel discussions, all around this subject of navigating the world of work. Because, like I said, the pandemic was forced upon us. We had to react. We had to do something different. And that is not the case now. Now we're back in a more normal situation, and it's on us. It's our choice. We're now empowered to set things up for a better world of work. And that's just a fascinating moment to see how we all react as individuals.